Imagine walking into your supposedly perfect suburban paradise, only to have a self-appointed queen snip away your child's dignity with a pair of rusty shears. All in the name of neighborhood standards. Now picture that same tyrant, smug as a peacock, crumbling under the weight of her own absurdity as the whole cul-de-sac turns on her. Yeah. That's the kind of poetic justice that makes you fist pump the air. Meet Jamie Harlan, a quiet software engineer who'd traded the chaos of Silicon Valley for the manicured lawns of Willow Creek Estates in suburban Ohio. Jamie wasn't the type to make waves, hell. They were the one neighbors called when a Wi-Fi router went rogue or a smart thermostat rebelled. Non-binary. With a sharp mind hidden behind wire-rimmed glasses and a perpetual hoodie. Jamie had learned early on that blending in was survival. Their spouse, Alex, was a high school history teacher. The kind who could make the Battle of Gettysburg feel like a blockbuster thriller. And then there was their kid, Riley, 15 years old, navigating the world with autism and a love for all things astronomy. Riley's hair was their galaxy, long. Wavy locks dyed in streaks of cosmic blue and purple, tied back in a neat bun when they hit the community center's indoor pool. It wasn't just hair, it was Riley's armor. A way to claim space in a body that sometimes felt like it belonged to someone else. It makes me feel like a comet, Riley would say, eyes lighting up like stars. The family had moved to Willow Creek 6 months ago, lured by the wide sidewalks perfect for Riley's sensory walks and the promise of a tight-knit community in the glossy HOA brochure. Jamie skimmed the rules binder on moving day, pages droning on about fence heights, paint shades, and maintaining aesthetic harmony. Nothing about hair. Nothing that screamed we own your kid's scalp. But Jamie noticed the fine print, vague clauses on hygiene and decorum that could stretch like cheap elastic. Still, they filed it away, figuring live and let live. The first red flag waved at the monthly HOA meeting in the clubhouse. A room smelling of stale coffee and fresh entitlement. There she was, Vivian Hartwell, HOA president, perched at the head of the fold-out table like a vulture on a throne. Mid-50s. With a bleach blonde bob sharper than her tongue. Vivian wore pearls that probably cost more than Jamie's first car. She greeted newcomers with a handshake that felt like a judgment. Welcome to Willow Creek, Mr. Harlan, she said, eyes flicking over Jamie's casual jeans like they'd tracked mud on her Persian rug. We pride ourselves on order here, keeps the property values soaring. Her gaze lingered on Riley, who was fiddling with a fidget spinner in the corner, hair cascading down their back. And who's this young person? The pause on person hung like a bad odor. Jamie introduced Riley politely. But inside, alarms blared. Vivian's smile didn't reach her eyes. Adorable. Just remember, our guidelines ensure everyone feels comfortable. That word, comfortable, dripped with implication. Jamie nodded, biting back a retort. They weren't here to fight, they were here to build a life. Weeks rolled by in that suffocating suburban rhythm, mowing lawns on schedule, recycling bins out by dawn. Rumors started bubbling like bad plumbing. Jamie overheard whispers at the mailbox cluster. Did you see that kid's hair? Looks like a rock star reject. Vivian's on it, she won't let standards slip. One evening, a neighbor, Mrs. Patel from next door, pulled Jamie aside while walking her dog. Watch out for Vivian, she murmured. She cited my Diwali lights last year, called them excessive illumination. Said it disturbed the serene ambience. Jamie chuckled it off, but noted it. Then came the anonymous note in their mailbox: long hair on boys is unhygienic. Trim it or face fines. For the community's sake. Jamie's stomach twisted. Riley wasn't a boy, But labels never stuck right anyway. They showed the note to Alex over dinner. "This is bullshit," Alex said. Fork paused midair. Riley. Earbuds in. Didn't notice. But Jamie decided to observe. No confrontation yet, just watch how the queen played her cards. The pool became ground zero. Willow Creek's crown jewel, an indoor oasis with lap lanes. A kiddie area. And rules posted like commandments. Riley loved it, the water muffled the world's noise. Let them float weightless. One crisp fall afternoon. With leaves turning gold outside the glass walls. The family headed there for Riley's weekly swim therapy. Jamie helped Riley tie back their hair. The blue streaks shimmering under the fluorescent lights. "Ready to conquer the cosmos?" Jamie teased. Riley grinned. Thumbs up. They settled on lounge chairs. Jamie scrolling emails while Riley eased into the water with their floaties. Peaceful. Right? Wrong. Vivian materialized like a bad dream. Clipboard in hand. Sensible loafers clicking on the tile. "Mr. Harlan," she cooed. Voice honeyed with venom. "A word about your child's appearance." Jamie looked up slowly. Feigning surprise. "Appearance?" Riley's swimsuit meets code, modest. No logos. Vivian's lips thinned. "It's the hair. Long locks pose a filtration risk. Clogs the drains. You see. And frankly, it's not the image we project here." Jamie glanced around. Two teenage girls giggled in the shallow end. Their ponytails trailing like seaweed. A man with a man bun dove into the deep. "Seems selective," Jamie said mildly. "No one's complaining about them." Vivian straightened. Pearls clacking. "Those are traditional. Boys should look like boys. It's about decorum." The word again. Like a weapon. Jamie's pulse quickened. But they kept cool. Riley's non-binary. Vivian. And there's no gender rule in your binder. Hair's tied back, hygiene covered. Vivian's eyes narrowed. "You're new. You'll adjust. Or we'll help you." She strode off. Clipboard slapping her thigh. Jamie texted Alex, "Queen bee buzzing. Stay tuned." That night, the whispers escalated. An email blast from the HOA, reminder, pool hygiene paramount. Excessive hair may require intervention. Jamie saved it. Sensing the noose tightening. The smearing kicked in like clockwork. At the next block party, mandatory fun with potluck salads and forced small talk, Vivian worked the crowd. Jamie overheard her at the punch bowl, "That Harlan family. Such a shame. Their kid's hair is a breeding ground for who knows what. I'm just looking out for our children." Nods rippled through the group. Mr. Jenkins, the retired accountant, chimed in, "Property values." Vivian. "Can't have riffraff." Jamie stood nearby. Sipping soda. Pretending not to hear. Inside. Fury simmered. But they documented, notes. Emails. Even a discreet phone recording of the murmurs. Riley noticed the stares. Though. "Why's everyone looking at me?" they asked one evening. Twisting a lock around their finger. Jamie hugged them. "Jealous of your comet tail, kiddo." But the isolation gnawed. Invites dried up, playdates for Riley vanished. Then the citation arrived, official HOA letter. Fining them $200 for noncompliance with aesthetic standards. Attached, a blurry photo of Riley at the pool. Hair unbound mid-splash. Jamie's jaw clenched. "This is war," Alex muttered. But Jamie shook their head. Not yet. Let her dig deeper. They paid the fine quietly, but filed a formal appeal, citing the rule's vagueness. Vivian's response email: appeal denied. Standards must be upheld for the greater good. The me and my hit Jamie like a punchline, greater good from a woman who'd once fined a widow for unsightly mourning wreaths. Jamie started subtle countermeasures, chatting up neighbors one by one. Mrs. Patel shared her Diwali story, old Mr. Thompson grumbled about his banned bird feeder, attracts vermin. Seeds of doubt planted. The tension built like storm clouds. Vivian ramped up patrols, popping up at the pool unannounced. Still non-compliant, she'd ask, eyeing Riley like a specimen. Jamie always smiled. All good here. But rumors flew, Harlans are troublemakers. Vivian says they're undermining the community. Jamie endured the cold shoulders, the sidelong glances at the grocery store. Inside, they plotted research on HOA laws, Ohio statutes on harassment, even a quiet consult with a lawyer friend. Patience was their weapon. It all exploded on a muggy Saturday. The pool packed with families escaping the heat. Riley was mid-lap, hair secured in a swim cap Jamie had bought just to spite the rules. Jamie stepped away for a vending machine soda, 2 minutes. Tops. A splash. A yelp. Jamie spun back to see Vivian looming over Riley in the shallow end. Garden shears glinting under the lights. Hold still. Dear, she said. Voice saccharine. This is for your own good. Snip. Strands of blue-purple hair floated like confetti in the water. Riley froze, eyes wide in shock. What? What are you doing? They stammered. Vivian beamed. Enforcing hygiene. Can't have clogs on my watch. Another snip, a nick on Riley's neck. Blood blooming red in the chlorine. Jamie bolted forward. Get away from my kid. But Vivian finished with a flourish, holding up the severed locks like a trophy. There. Much better. Traditional and tidy. The pool fell silent. Kids gaping. Parents whispering. Riley touched their jagged bob, tears mixing with pool water. Dad. It hurts. Jamie's vision tunneled. You assaulted my child. With scissors. Vivian waved it off. Nonsense. It's just hair. Grows back. And as president, I have authority to maintain order. Her voice rose, addressing the crowd. Right. Folks? We all want a clean pool. Murmurs of unease. But no one moved. Jamie's hands shook as they helped Riley out, wrapping a towel around the bleeding nick. Inside, the observer snapped the recordings, the emails, the witnesses. They pulled out their phone, already dialing. Alex? Get here now. And call your cop buddy. Vivian smirked. Overreacting. Mr. Harlan. This is a community matter. Jamie met her eyes. Voice low. Not anymore. The air thickened as minutes ticked. Vivian fidgeted. Clipboard forgotten. You'll regret escalating this. Jamie said nothing, just tended to Riley, who whispered, Why me? The door burst open, Alex, flanked by Officer Ramirez, a burly guy from the local precinct who'd coached Alex's softball team. Phones were out, half the pool filming. What's going on? Ramirez boomed. Jamie pointed. She cut my kid's hair without consent. Injured them. Vivian puffed up. As HOA leader, Ramirez cut her off. Lady. That's battery. Assault on a minor. He eyed the shears. Now on the deck. Evidence. Multiple hands waved phones. Vivian's face drained of color. This is absurd. My husband is on the city council. Ramirez cuffed her smoothly. Tell it to the judge. As she was let out. Sputtering about misunderstandings, the dam broke. Mrs. Patel stepped up. She fined me for my prayer flags, called them clutter. Mr. Thompson, banned my garden gnomes. Said they lowered curb appeal. A chorus of grievances erupted. Petty tyrannies laid bare. Vivian's empire cracked in real time. In the aftermath, chaos turned to catharsis. Riley got stitches at urgent care. The doc fuming, who does this? In 2026? The story went viral, local news. Then Reddit. Headlines screaming HOA horror, President shears teen's locks. Vivian's husband distanced himself. Filing for separation amid the scandal. The board ousted her in an emergency vote. Installing Mrs. Patel as interim prez. She gutted the rules. No more vague aesthetics, explicit bans on discrimination. Even a diversity committee. Jamie ran for the board unopposed. Their quiet observations now policy fuel. Order without empathy is just control, they said at the first meeting. Earning nods. Riley's hair grew back stronger. Styled in a defiant undercut. Therapy helped, the flinches faded. Replaced by advocacy. They spoke at school about bodily autonomy, my hair's mine. Not some rulebooks. The neighborhood bloomed, Diwali lights twinkled. Gnomes returned. Invites flowed again. Jamie watched from the porch one evening. Riley stargazing with new friends. Alex squeezed their hand. You played it perfect. Jamie smirked. Patience pays. Vivian? Community service at a youth center. Teaching respect workshops. Last seen clipping paper dolls. Face pinched in irony. The plea deal? Misdemeanor. Fines covering Riley's therapy. She apologized in court. Voice robotic, I regret the lapse. The judge. Eyes steely, hair's not just vanity, it's identity. You stole that. Jamie felt the high surge, watching her shrink. Exposed as the bully she was. But here's the kicker, was Vivian the real villain? Or just a product of HOA systems that empower petty dictators? Should we have pushed for jail time to deter future Karens? Or is public humiliation enough justice? Drop your takes below. Have you battled an HOA tyrant? Who's really at fault when standards cross into control?